then Auburn, Jack, they went on the road at number 13 Vanderbilt. And this one was kind of supposed to be, I mean, it wasn't supposed to be like this for sure. And we talk about teams going on the road, how tough that is. But Vanderbilt was at home
Yeah.
and was struggling against Auburn, who just fired their coach and Hugh Freeze. And I know Auburn had the close just about everybody, but until they lost that game, they really performed poorly. This one just came out of nowhere where we say it's the year of the interim coach, and it's been kind of hit or miss how teams respond when they're fired. It really came out of the cannon here. I was so surprised about this game, and then even more surprised during the game that Vanderbilt found a way to win. Once again, in November, you find a way to win. They beat Auburn in OT 45-30. Check.
Yeah. Very great win for Vanderbilt. And they never usually win this type of game in their history. And this year is just so great for them. And I love that. But really keeps their playoff hopes alive that they were to win this game. Because if they lose this, there's not like any likelihood that they're going to make it anywhere. So they had to have this game, and it's still not likely that they could even make the playoffs because they kind of need Texas to drop a couple of games since they have the head-to-head against them and Oklahoma. But really great for Vanderbilt. I mean, Auburn was ahead most of this game. They had to really claw their way back, kind of like they did against Texas a week or two ago, where they were clawing their way back and almost came back with that onside kick. I know a lot of people said the refs were kind of helping Vanderbilt out there in that game. Like, that was clearly short for that 2-point conversion. But I know you saw that. Yeah, that was. But
they said the laces crossed.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't see that, but very great win for Vanderbilt to just a fought victory, and yeah, very surprising. It is kind of hit or miss for how teams like UCLA is going to knock off Penn State or UAB is going to knock off Memphis, but they almost had one here, and it's this season's obviously a wash for Auburn, but very impressive that they're still able to contend. This is what I mean when like teams in the SEC just really are just so talented or just able to contend, like Florida against Georgia.
Right.
Yeah. Or Missouri against Vanderbilt. Just,
Right.
Kentucky against Texas. Yeah. It's just, it happens all the time, but that's great.
Right. And I mean, Diego Pavia is such a baller, Jack. I mean, he had just about 500 total yards in this game. Insane. 4 total touchdowns. Like, Pavia, he's continuing his Heisman case. It's kind of between him, Haynes King maybe, and then, of course, Julian Saint and Heisman Mendoza are kind of up there as well. But Diego Pavia, I mean, this is a great win. And I know you're at home, and I know maybe you shouldn't be as close with Auburn, but at the end of the day, you found a way to win. You found a lot of great things, and Pavia, I mean, he continues to have these great performances. And I know, like, they don't want to talk about it because it's Vanderbilt, but Pavia has been really excellent. And he had, like, a bad game, really, against Texas and Alabama, which are now, I think, they are both top 10 teams, which is kind of surprising because after, week 1 or so, we didn't think that they'd be in that situation, but those are pretty good losses. And Vanderbilt, they're such an interesting team. They really are. And I was really hoping they would have beat Texas. And if they had woken up earlier in the game, maybe they would have. Arch really had a great game there. And Vanderbilt, I mean, coming off it, if they're 10-2, I mean, the AP's not giving them as much. AP is giving them more credit than the CFP is. They're at 14, but you look at where they're at 14, you'd think Texas, if they lose to some top 5 teams here coming up, they could lose twice and probably fall behind Vanderbilt. And you're just looking at like a few spots. If Oklahoma loses to Alabama, there's 2 more there. Maybe you move up to 12. You just need a few more. I think it's very possible that Vanderbilt ends up finding a way into the playoff, but I don't know. Kind of confused why we're giving 2-loss teams like Notre Dame a lot more credit than Vanderbilt when you could say maybe Vanderbilt has better wins. I don't know.
Or Oklahoma.
Or, I mean, Oklahoma's Tennessee win is pretty good, though. Auburn, but that didn't age well. Michigan's still a pretty good win for them, though.
Yeah.
So, I see what you're saying there, though. But Auburn, I mean, it's possible that we end up having playoff Vandy still. It's still possible. I think they do need to win out, and they need some things to happen, but they don't have to move up too far. Like, they could possibly do it. They just need some teams to mess up in front of them, but I think it's definitely possible, Jack.
I think so, too. Like, I know a lot of people said, like, Texas needs, like, they could split the Georgia and A&M game and still have a chance to make it. I could see that, though, because the CFP and the AP, they both love Texas, and They
Right.
have great wins. I mean, you look Oklahoma and Vandy; those are great wins.
Hmm.
So I I wouldn't like it, of course, because I'm still not a fan of a 3-loss team. That's not a conference championship. I know Clemson made it last year as a
Hmm.
3-loss, but
Right.
they were an ACC champ, and they had 2 teams last year, which is
Hmm.
crazy to even think about. But I don't see that, and I don't see them winning against A&M or Georgia. I see them dropping both of those, even
Right.
though they won against A&M, as is at home. Still think A&M is probably going to take that. So that's what Vandy really needs to happen. Is they need Oklahoma is probably going to lose against Alabama this next week, and they need
Mhm.
Texas to drop those two. I think it's possible. It really is. But yeah,
Right.
I could see that, and it'd be great. It'd be a great story because I think they're a talented enough team to really make something happen in the playoffs.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Right. I definitely
yeah,
agree. And I mean, Diego Pavia is playing at an elite level. I think their defense is going to have to really lock in here because you're giving up 38 to Auburn. That's not great. They just gave up 34 to Texas, but they lock in the fourth quarter in that game. And their defense really showed out against LSU, where they held them to 24, which isn't great, but we had thought LSU's offense was going to be better. Oh, LSU crumbled so fast, by the way. Honestly, shocking that they're just completely off the grid. And maybe we'll see who ends up getting the new coach. Maybe they end up bouncing back next season. But LSU is in a dump, so I think that kind of sucks. That Vanderbilt's win isn't that great. And then also their Missouri win, even though it was a good win, isn't going to be regarded too much because Pavia got injured in that game, and then Texas A&M treated Missouri pretty poorly there, where they dominated this past Saturday. But honestly, I think Vandy has a great chance for a playoff push. And I mean, you win these games, you got to win them. You can't lose to Auburn like this. They found a way to win an OT, and I think it's like the Indiana game. It's like you need this to build character. Like you need these types of close game situations when you play teams that are better. And it's just a classic slap in the face where it's just like you can't take teams for granted. You can't look ahead of teams. I'm not saying they necessarily did that, but you'd think they'd be able to beat Auburn more convincingly. But I don't know. Vanderbilt just getting the win at all is huge in November, and they found a way to do it. And Vanderbilt still has a possible chance at a playoff berth.